Welcome to Knowitrix, where curiosity becomes clarity. If you love learning, thinking deeper, and understanding the world in a smarter way, you're in the right place. Branding is more than a logo, a color palette, or a catchy tagline. It's the soul of your business. It's how people feel when they see your name, hear your message, or experience your product. In digital marketing, branding is what transforms a company from just another option into a trusted identity. It's not about being seen, it's about being remembered. Think of branding as the emotional bridge between you and your audience. It's the promise you make and the perception you create. Every post, every video, every email, and every design choice contributes to that perception. When done right, branding turns marketing into storytelling and storytelling into loyalty. At its core, branding answers three questions. Who are you? What do you stand for? Why should people care? The first step is defining your brand identity. This includes your mission, vision, and values, the foundation that guides every decision. Your mission explains what you do. Your vision shows where you're going, and your values define how you operate. Together, they form the DNA of your brand. Next comes visual identity, the tangible elements that make your brand recognizable. Colors, typography, imagery, and design style all communicate emotion. Blue conveys trust. Red evokes energy. Green suggests growth. Every visual choice should align with your brand's personality and message. But branding goes far beyond visuals. It's also about voice and tone, how you speak to your audience. Are you formal or friendly? Inspirational or practical? Your tone must reflect your personality and resonate with your audience's expectations. Consistency builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. In the digital world, branding is amplified through experience. Your website, social media, videos, and ads must all feel connected, part of one cohesive story. When people move from your Instagram to your YouTube channel or your landing page, they should feel the same energy, the same message, the same identity. The most powerful brands don't just sell products, they sell meaning. Apple sells creativity. Nike sells motivation. Canva sells empowerment. Each brand stands for something bigger than its product. That's the secret. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Your brand is also your reputation. It's built through consistency, authenticity, and value. Every interaction, from a comment reply to a customer email, either strengthens or weakens that reputation. Branding is not a one-time project. It's a continuous process of shaping perception. In digital marketing, branding is the foundation of everything else: content, ads, SEO, funnels, and analytics. Without a clear brand, your marketing lacks direction. In digital marketing, branding is the foundation of everything else: content, ads, SEO, funnels, and analytics. Without a clear brand, your marketing lacks direction. With a strong brand, every campaign becomes more powerful because it's backed by identity and emotion. Branding is how you turn attention into trust and trust into loyalty. It's how you make people not just remember your name, but believe in it. A strong brand identity is not built by accident. It's crafted with intention. It's the combination of visual, verbal, and emotional elements that make your brand instantly recognizable and impossible to forget. When these elements work together, your brand becomes more than a business, it becomes an experience. The first pillar of brand identity is your brand purpose, the why behind everything you do. It's the deeper reason your brand exists beyond making money. Purpose gives your brand direction and meaning. It tells your audience what you stand for and why they should believe in you. A brand with purpose feels alive. Next comes your brand personality, the human traits your brand expresses. Is your brand bold or calm? Playful or serious? Modern or traditional? Personality shapes how your brand behaves, speaks, and interacts. It's what makes your communication feel consistent and relatable. People don't connect with companies, they connect with personalities. Then we move to brand voice and tone. Voice is your consistent style of communication, while tone adapts to the situation. A strong brand voice is clear, confident, and unmistakable. Whether you're writing a caption, a script, or an email, your audience should instantly recognize your voice. Tone adds emotional nuance, friendly, urgent, inspirational, or educational depending on the moment. The visual side of branding begins with your logo, but it doesn't end there. A logo is a symbol, not the brand itself. It's supported by your color palette, typography, imagery style, and design system. Colors evoke emotion. Fonts communicate personality. Images set the mood. Together, they create a visual language that speaks without words. Your color palette is one of the most powerful tools in branding. Colors trigger emotions and shape perception. Blue builds trust. Red sparks energy. Yellow radiates optimism. Green signals growth. A strong brand uses color intentionally and consistently across all platforms. Typography is your brand's voice in visual form. Bold fonts feel confident. Serif fonts feel classic. Rounded fonts feel friendly. Choosing the right typography ensures your message looks as strong as it sounds. Imagery style defines the look and feel of your photos, illustrations, and graphics. Are they minimalistic, cinematic, vibrant, or corporate? Consistent imagery builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. Another crucial element is your brand story, the narrative that explains who you are, what you do, and why it matters. A compelling brand story creates emotional connection. It turns your audience into believers, not just buyers. Your unique value proposition, UVP, also plays a key role. It communicates what sets you apart and why your audience should choose you. A strong UVP is clear, specific, and customer-focused. Finally, a strong brand identity is held together by consistency. Every touchpoint, your website, social media, videos, packaging, and customer service, must feel like pieces of the same puzzle. Consistency builds recognition, and recognition builds loyalty. A strong brand identity is not just seen, it's felt. It's the invisible force that shapes perception, builds trust, and creates long-term loyalty. When your brand identity is clear and consistent, your marketing becomes more powerful because your message carries meaning. Brand mission, vision, and values. Every powerful brand begins with a clear sense of purpose. Before the colors, the logo, the content, or the marketing strategy, there must be a foundation, a mission, a vision, and a set of values that guide everything the brand does. These elements are not just statements on a website. They are the compass that shapes identity, decisions, and long-term direction. Your brand mission is your now. It defines what your brand does today, who it serves, and how it creates value. A strong mission is simple, actionable, and meaningful. It answers the question, what are we here to do? A mission grounds your brand in reality. It keeps your team aligned and your audience clear about your purpose. When your mission is strong, every piece of content, every product, and every interaction feels intentional. Your brand vision is your future. It paints a picture of what your brand aims to become. Vision is aspirational. It inspires your audience and motivates your team. It answers the question, where are we going? A powerful vision is bold yet believable. It gives your brand direction and momentum. It helps people see not just what you do, but what you're building toward. Vision turns your brand into a movement. Then come your brand values, the principles that guide how your brand behaves. Values shape your culture, your communication, and your decisions. They define what you stand for and what you refuse to compromise on. Values answer the question, how do we operate? Authentic values create trust. They show your audience that your brand is not just a business, but a set of beliefs. When your actions match your values, your brand becomes credible and respected. Together, mission, vision, and values form the backbone of your brand identity. They influence your tone, your messaging, your design, and your strategy. They help you stay consistent even as trends change and markets evolve. A strong mission gives clarity. A strong vision gives direction. Strong values give integrity. The best brands communicate these elements clearly and consistently. They don't hide them in a corporate document. They live them. You can see their mission in their content, their vision in their innovation, and their values in every customer interaction. For example, a brand with a mission to simplify digital marketing education will create clear, structured content. A vision to empower millions of learners worldwide will push them to scale globally. Values like clarity, honesty, and accessibility will shape their tone and teaching style. When your mission, vision, and values are aligned, your brand becomes magnetic. People don't just buy from you, they believe in you. They feel connected to your purpose and inspired by your direction. That emotional connection is what transforms customers into communities and followers into advocates. In branding, clarity is power. When you define who you are, where you're going, and what you stand for, your brand becomes unforgettable. Crafting a brand story. Every memorable brand has a story. Not a slogan, not a pitch, but a story that makes people feel something. A brand story is the emotional narrative that explains who you are, why you exist, and what makes you different. It's the heartbeat of your identity, the thread that connects your mission, your values, and your audience into one powerful message. A great brand story doesn't start with your product. It starts with your purpose. What inspired your journey? What problem did you see in the world? What moment made you say, this needs to change? That spark, that origin, is where your story begins. People don't connect with features. They connect with meaning. Your brand story should follow a simple but powerful structure. The problem, the journey, the transformation, the promise. The problem is the challenge your audience faces. It's the frustration, the gap, the pain point that your brand was created to solve. When you articulate this clearly, your audience feels understood. The journey is your path, the struggles, discoveries, and insights that shaped your brand. This is where authenticity matters. Your story doesn't need to be dramatic. It needs to be real. People trust brands that show humanity, not perfection. The transformation is the breakthrough, the moment your solution came to life. It's the shift from confusion to clarity, from frustration to empowerment. This is where your brand becomes the guide, not the hero. The hero is always your audience. The promise is what you stand for today. It's the commitment you make to your audience every time they interact with your brand. This promise becomes the emotional anchor of your identity. A strong brand story is not written for everyone. It's written for the people who believe what you believe. It attracts the right audience and repels the wrong one. That's the power of authenticity. When your story is true, it resonates with those who share your values. Your story should also reflect your brand personality. If your brand is bold, your story should feel bold. If your brand is warm, your story should feel comforting. Tone, language, and rhythm all shape how your story is experienced. In the digital world, your brand story must live everywhere. In your videos, your captions, your website, your ads, and even your customer support. Consistency turns your story into a memory. When people hear your name, they should instantly recall the feeling your story created. The most successful brands don't just tell stories, they invite people into them. They make the audience feel like they're part of something bigger, a movement, a mission, a shared belief. Your brand story is not a script you write once. It evolves as you grow, as your audience grows, and as your impact expands. But the core, your purpose, your journey, your promise, remains the same. When you craft a powerful brand story, you don't just communicate who you are. You create connection, you build trust, you inspire loyalty, and in a world full of noise, a genuine story becomes your loudest voice. A brand is more than a business, it's a character. It has a voice, a mood, a style, and a way of behaving that makes it feel human. This human side of your brand is called brand personality, and it's one of the most powerful tools in branding. When your brand has personality, people don't just recognize it, they relate to it. Brand personality is the emotional layer of your identity. It shapes how your audience feels when they interact with you. Think of your brand as a person walking into a room. Are they bold and energetic, calm and wise, playful and friendly, elegant and sophisticated? The impression they create becomes the foundation of your brand experience. A strong brand personality does three things. It differentiates you, it builds emotional connection, it guides your communication. To define your brand personality, start by understanding your audience. What kind of personality would resonate with them? A fitness brand might be energetic and motivational. A financial brand might be trustworthy and calm. A creative brand might be bold and expressive. Your personality should align with the emotions your audience seeks. Next, choose the traits that best represent your brand. Many marketers use the Acre Brand Personality Framework, which includes 5 major dimensions. Sincerity, honest, warm, down-to-earth. Excitement, bold, imaginative, spirited. Competence, reliable, intelligent, successful. Sophistication, elegant, refined, premium. Ruggedness, strong, tough, outdoorsy. Your brand may blend traits from multiple dimensions, but one should dominate. This dominant trait becomes the core of your personality. Once defined, your personality must show up everywhere, in your tone of voice, your visuals, your content style, your customer interactions, and even your product design. If your brand is friendly, your language should be simple and warm. If your brand is premium, your visuals should feel polished and refined. Consistency is what makes your personality believable. Brand personality also shapes your storytelling. A bold brand tells bold stories. A sincere brand tells heartfelt stories. A competent brand tells data-driven stories. When your personality and story align, your brand becomes unforgettable. In digital marketing, personality is a competitive advantage. People scroll past generic brands, but they stop for brands that feel alive. Personality makes your content more engaging, your ads more persuasive, and your community more loyal. It turns your brand from a company into a character your audience enjoys spending time with. The most successful brands in the world are not the ones with the best products. They're the ones with the strongest personalities. Apple feels innovative. Nike feels motivational. Airbnb feels human and welcoming. Their personality is so consistent that you can recognize it instantly, even without seeing the logo. Your brand personality is not just how you look, it's how you make people feel. And in a world full of choices, people choose the brands that feel right. Visual branding is the first thing people notice about your brand, often before they read a word or hear your message. It's the silent communicator that shapes perception, triggers emotion, and builds recognition. In a world where attention is scarce, your visual identity becomes your brand's handshake, your first impression, and your lasting memory. Visual branding is not just about looking good, it's about looking right. Every color, shape, font, and image must reflect your brand's personality, purpose, and promise. When your visuals align with your identity, your brand becomes instantly recognizable even without a logo. The foundation of visual branding begins with your color palette. Colors are emotional triggers. They influence how people feel and how they interpret your message. Blue builds trust, red sparks urgency, yellow radiates optimism, black conveys luxury. A strong brand chooses colors intentionally and uses them consistently across all platforms. Your palette should include primary colors, secondary colors, and accent tones that work together harmoniously. Next comes typography, the style of your text. Fonts are more than letters. They are personality in visual form. Serif fonts feel classic and authoritative. Sans serif fonts feel modern and clean. Script fonts feel elegant and expressive. Your typography should reflect your brand's tone and remain consistent across your website, thumbnails, ads, and social media posts. Consistency builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. Your logo is the symbol of your brand, but it is not the brand itself. A great logo is simple, memorable, and versatile. It should work in color and black and white, in large formats and tiny icons, on screens and in print. But remember, the logo is only one piece of the visual system. It gains meaning only when supported by consistent design. Another key element is your imagery style. This includes the type of photos, illustrations, graphics, and textures you use. Are your visuals cinematic or minimalistic, bright or muted, realistic or abstract? Your imagery should evoke the same emotion every time someone sees your content. This is especially important for YouTube thumbnails, Instagram posts, and website banners, the places where visuals speak louder than words. Your design system ties everything together. This includes layout rules, spacing, icon styles, shapes, patterns, and visual motifs. A strong design system ensures that every piece of content, from a YouTube thumbnail to a landing page, feels like it belongs to the same brand. This consistency creates a seamless experience for your audience. Visual branding also includes motion identity, how your brand moves. Animations, transitions, intros, and outros all contribute to your brand's personality. Smooth, elegant motion feels premium. Fast, energetic motion feels old. Motion identity is especially important for video-based brands like yours. Finally, your visual branding must be consistent. Consistency is what transforms visuals into identity. When your audience sees your colors, your style, or your layout, they should instantly know it's you, even before they see your name. Visual branding is not decoration. It's communication. It's emotion. It's identity. When your visuals are clear, consistent, and aligned with your brand personality, your marketing becomes more powerful, more memorable, and more trusted. Brand voice and tone. Your brand's voice is the way it speaks. Its tone is the way it feels. Together, they shape every interaction your audience has with you, from a YouTube video to a caption, from a website headline to a customer support reply. Voice and tone are the heartbeat of communication, and when they're consistent, your brand becomes unmistakable. Brand voice is your brand's personality expressed through words. It doesn't change. It's the stable, recognizable style that makes your communication feel like you. Whether you're educating, inspiring, or selling, your voice remains constant. It's the reason people can read a post without seeing your name and still know it's yours. Brand tone, on the other hand, adapts to the situation. It's the emotional flavor of your message. A tutorial may sound calm and instructional. A product launch may sound energetic and bold. A customer apology may sound empathetic and sincere. Tone shifts, but voice stays the same. To define your brand voice, start with your brand personality. If your brand is friendly, your voice will be warm and conversational. If your brand is premium, Your voice will be refined and confident. If your brand is bold, your voice will be direct and energetic. Your voice must reflect who you are and resonate with your audience's expectations. A strong brand voice is clear, easy to understand, consistent, recognizable across platforms, authentic, true to your identity, purposeful, aligned with your mission and values. Next, identify the tone variations your brand will use. Think of tone as a spectrum. You may be friendly but not childish, professional but not robotic, motivational but not pushy, informative but not overwhelming. These boundaries help your team maintain consistency even when the tone shifts. Your voice and tone should appear everywhere, in scripts, captions, emails, ads, landing pages, and even customer support messages. Consistency builds trust. When your audience hears the same voice across every touchpoint, your brand feels reliable and cohesive. Voice and tone also shape your storytelling. A bold voice tells bold stories. A warm voice tells comforting stories. A confident voice tells authoritative stories. When your voice aligns with your story, your brand becomes more memorable and more human. In digital marketing, voice and tone are competitive advantages. Most brands sound generic, safe, predictable, forgettable. But the brands that stand out are the ones that speak with personality. They sound alive, they sound intentional, they sound like someone you want to listen to. Think of the brands you admire. You can hear their voice even when you're not reading their content. That's the power of consistency. It creates recognition without effort. Your brand voice is not just how you speak, it's how you make people feel. And in a world full of noise, the brands that speak with clarity, emotion, and authenticity are the ones that rise above the rest. A brand is only as strong as its consistency, and the tool that protects that consistency is your brand style guide. Think of it as the rule book, the blueprint, the master reference that ensures your brand looks, sounds, and feels the same everywhere. Whether you're creating a YouTube thumbnail, a website banner, a social media post, or a marketing campaign, the style guide keeps your identity unified and unmistakable. A brand style guide is not just a document. It's the voice of your brand's identity. It tells your team, your designers, your editors, and even future collaborators exactly how to represent your brand with clarity and precision. Your style guide begins with your brand essence, the core of who you are. This includes your mission, vision, values, and personality. These elements set the tone for every creative decision. When your team understands the essence, they understand the soul of your brand. Next comes your logo guidelines. This section explains how your logo should be used and how it should not be used. It includes spacing rules, color variations, minimum sizes, and placement instructions. A strong brand protects its logo from distortion, clutter, or misuse. Even small inconsistencies can weaken recognition. Then you define your color palette. This includes primary colors, secondary colors, accent tones, and usage rules. Your palette should specify exact color codes, hex, RGB, and CMYK to ensure perfect consistency across digital and print platforms. Color is one of the strongest visual cues in branding, and your guide ensures it's used correctly every time. Typography comes next. Your font system outlines the typefaces your brand uses for headings, subheadings, body text, and captions. It includes font weights, sizes, spacing, and hierarchy rules. Typography shapes the personality of your content. Clean, bold, elegant, modern. And your style guide ensures it stays consistent. Your imagery style section defines the look and feel of your photos, illustrations, and graphics. Should your visuals be cinematic or minimalistic, bright or muted, realistic or stylized? This section ensures that every image your brand uses feels like part of the same story. Then comes voice and tone guidelines. This section explains how your brand speaks. It includes examples of preferred language, writing style, tone variations, and phrases to avoid. Whether you're writing a script, a caption, or an email, your voice should feel consistent and recognizable. Your style guide may also include layout rules, iconography, motion guidelines, thumbnail templates, and social media formatting standards. These details ensure that every piece of content, from a YouTube intro to a carousel post, feels unified. The final section is practical examples. This includes sample posts, thumbnails, ads, and layouts that demonstrate how the brand should look in real scenarios. Examples make the guide easier to understand and easier to follow. A brand style guide is a living document. It evolves as your brand grows, your audience expands, and your identity becomes sharper. But its purpose remains the same: to protect your brand's consistency, clarity, and impact. When your brand looks and sounds the same everywhere, it becomes unforgettable. And in the world of digital marketing, consistency is not just a strategy, it's a superpower. If this video expanded your thinking, imagine what the next one will unlock. Knowitrix is built for curious minds, people who want deeper insights, smarter explanations, and a clearer view of the world. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications to stay connected to every new idea we decode. Like the video if it sparked something new, and share it with someone who loves learning as much as you do. Stay curious, stay aware. This is Knowitrix, and your next insight is just one click away.